Welcome back, my children. I am, as ever, your humbled host, Count Vigostein. For tonight's entry into horror, we will jump decades ahead of the 30s and 40s, where monsters roamed Europe, to the 70s in rural Texas, where an unspeakable massacre awaits us. So let's speak about it.
Sally and Franklin Hardesty and some friends are traveling far out into Texas after hearing reports that the graveyard that their grandfather was buried in has been robbed and vandalized. After visiting there, they pick up a strange hitchhiker and then kick him out, investigate a strange house, and soon enough they begin to get picked off one by a masked killer named Leatherface. Describing Texas Chain Saw Massacre doesn't do it justice, since the film is a lot more scarier than it sounds. The film has a documentary-like feel to it, with a very grainy look, making you feel like you are with these unfortunate youths. The teenage characters are nothing special. Their acting is good, specifically from Marilyn Burns, and you do feel sorry for them when they begin to die, but there is not a whole lot to them as characters. The real stardom lies with the psychopaths in the film. They are some of the most disturbing characters I have ever seen in any film. The hitchhiker makes things uncomfortable, not just for the characters in the film, but for the viewers as well, as he cuts his own hand, sets fire into a van, and does some other nasty things. But the star of the film really is Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface, who is now among the most recognizable slashers. What is interesting to note is that while Leatherface is by all intents and purposes the antagonist of the film, he is, in some regards, not really a villain, at least in the traditional sense. Leatherface is basically a child trapped inside the body of an adult man. He is someone with a mental disability who is at the mercy of the other lunatics. When he starts killing people, it's not because he's going off looking for teenagers having sex. It's because those darn kids keep entering his house. After he's killed a few of them, he goes to look outside the window to see where they're coming from, and he even has to take a breather, almost as if he's scared of what is going to happen next. It's really weird that you end up kind of sympathizing with the chainsaw-wielding maniac. But that just goes to show how well Hansen played the character. One of the many misconceptions of the film is that it is a gory film. I mean, with a title like this, I wouldn't blame you for thinking that. But in actuality, Texas Chain Saw Massacre is not a film that relies too heavily on gore. There is indeed shocking imagery, and eventually there is some blood, but never is there anything that is too violent to watch. Hell, when Leatherface finally does use his chainsaw, it's at night, making it very difficult to see. Director Toby Hooper is very much in the mindset that what you don't see is scarier than what you do see. Texas Chain Saw Massacre is one of the scariest films I have ever seen. There are plenty more scarier out there, I'm sure, but for me, this film does extremely well at creating a distinct atmosphere, setting up its characters in an isolated area where there is little chance of getting help, and also pitting them up against a series of psychotic characters who you could see actually existing. It's a disturbing film that at times feels like a psychological study, and you are along for the ride. If you are at a loss of things to watch for Halloween, this is a film that I can't recommend enough. Be sure to experience the mad and macabre film that is the Texas Chain Saw Massacre.
Leatherface, one of the first modern slasher villains. He makes me fearful of ever traveling to Texas. Were that the sun there, I wouldn't last a minute in that godforsaken place without turning to ash. They might as well should have retitled the film Texas Massacre. It's so funny. I just kill myself.